Tracy, and the 3 car of Ray Lovelace. We're set to go.
45 laps for the late models as they roll off at turn number 4. Jacob Burns and Bobby Pelland III race down into turn number 1 as they come off at turn 2 side by side. Give the advantage to Burns, who takes over the lead. Here comes Charlie Rose working the outside, and look at that, 3 wide action off of 4. You got Darling up on the outside. The 38 of Souza centered, and the 35 of Chase Belcher on the inside.
Down into 3 and 4, the advantage and the leader is Jacob Rowdy Burns. Here comes Bobby Pelland for second as he will battle with Charlie Rose, as it is a hornet's nest further back in the pack.
Chase Belcher is on a tear down on the inside, and while he works that bottom lane, Dave Darling going 3 wide on his way towards the front as they hit turn number 1. Charlie Rose battling for second off of turn number 2, and that is Bobby Pelland up on the outside as they come off of turn number 4.
Welcome back to Dave Darling running out there tonight, as he is now in the 6th position battling with Richie Murray there as they go down the backstretch.
Up on the outside, the 27 works himself into 3rd. That is Luke Lebrun in the Checkered Auto Parts sponsored machine. Up into the 3rd spot. Pelland back to 4th. Belcher hanging on to 5th. Here comes Murray down to the inside there. They roll down into 3 and 4.
Belcher's got his hands full coming off of 2 and down the backstretch. He tries to hold off Murray. He's going to have his hands full back into 1 and 2 here. He's going to get loose into turn number 2.
Belcher trying to hold on to that bottom lane, but here comes Murray down to the inside. Into 3 and 4 they go. Darling right there behind as Belcher gets a little bit crossed up. How about Tyler Lallier in that fight, in that blue number 7? And while they fight for position, up front battle for second, Luke Lebrun, Charlie Rose battling off at turn number 4.
Jacob Rowdy Burns going to continue to check out here at the front of the field. He is off too as 2nd and 3rd place just starting down the backstretch. Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader, into 3 and 4.
Off of turn 4 they come. LeBron edges out ahead of Rose for 3rd as they hit turn number 1. Rose settles back into 3rd. LeBron 2nd, trying to chase down our leader, Jacob Burns, who is broken away from the rest of the field. Pelland still sits 4th. Belcher rounds out the top 5. Battle for 6. Here comes Darling down to the inside of Richie Murray down into turn number 1.
At the back of the pack, Bill Goodrow started at the back. He's worked his way up a couple of positions. He is back there. Out front, though, again, Jacob Rowdy Burns, and in 2nd place now, Luke Lebrun as they go down the backstretch.
Lebrun sits about 12 car lengths behind Burns down into 3. He's put about 2 car lengths between he and the 91 of Charlie Rose. You still got Pelland sitting in that 4th spot. Belcher rounding out the top 5. A little deeper in the pack, the 38 working over the 7 of Tyler Lallier, and he's getting a little aggressive in that red and black number 38. Lallier up to the outside off of 4.
Dave Darling going to make his move as he goes across the stripe. He passes Richie Murray as he's going to work now the back bumper of Chase Belcher down the backstretch.
13, make it 14 laps complete now as the leaders roll down into turn 1 and 2. Darling takes a dive underneath the Everett Auto Parts machine, puts a Seekonk Grand Prix number 52 up into the top 5 as they hit turn number 3. You got Richie Murray sitting in that 7th spot off the corner. Then you got the 22 of Mark Jennison, the 38 of Connor Souza, and the 7 of Tyler Lallier rounding out the top 10.
Down the front stretch, Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader, goes into 1 and 2 as he's got a good advantage over the 2nd place car. He's going to work his way here as we continue the laps, probably to the back bumper of some lap traffic shortly.
Dave Darling is broken free up in that 5th spot, trying to close in on the top 4. But if ever a driver needed some help with a caution, it would be Darling right now. He's among the fastest cars out on the racetrack, and he has worked himself up from 9th to 5th among some heavy hitters, and now sets his sights little by little, closing in on Bobby Pelland III.
I talked to Dave earlier today, and he said he wasn't really sure what he was going to have today, and it was a wait-and-see approach. He's out there, and he's working his way through. 19 laps in as we are working our way through. Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader, into 3 and 4.
45 laps, the total distance trouble as the 0-2 of Mike Brightman goes around off the just past the start-finish line, and we are slowed up for the first time with 20 laps complete. 25 have at it. The Bristol Toyota Pace truck pulls down to the infield, and we are ready to go. 19 laps up on the board. Burns and Lebrun, two youngsters with some success in this late model division, race down into turn number 1, and Lebrun is not going away quietly as they roll down the back straightaway.
Not so fast. Into 3 and 4. Luke Lebrun on the outside line, giving Jacob Rowdy Burns a run for his money as they work down into 1 and 2. Give the advantage still to Jacob Rowdy Burns.
Charlie Rose right there. Here comes Darling up into the top 4. Where have we seen that before? Down off the corner they come. Rose with a good run down to the inside. Gets underneath Burns. Looks for the lead down into turn number 1. Darling is on his tail down the back straightaway.
What a battle up front. Charlie Rose, Jacob Rowdy Burns, Luke Lebrun. You've got quite a matchup as they work down into 1 and 2. Give the advantage still to Jacob Rowdy Burns down the backstretch.
Down the backstretch they go, and Burns trying to shut the door on Charlie Rose as they hit 3 and 4. Rose kicks that bottom door back open as they cross the stripe. Lebrun sits 3rd. Darling is 4th. 5th is a 0-8 of Richie Murray as they roll down the back straightaway, and it is Rose putting heavy pressure on Jacob Burns.
As we watch what is a battle between Chase Belcher and Mark Jennison working his way to the back bumper there as Connor Souza is involved in that one about mid-pack. Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader out front off 4.
Able to shut the door as they cross the stripe. Dave Darling now sitting in 4th, trying to find a way by the 27 of Lebrun. Takes a look to the outside into turn number 3, but he got that crossover move off of 4. Not going to work that time.
Down into 1 and 2. Charlie Rose right to the back bumper of Jacob Rowdy Burns as they work down the back stretch. Jacob Rowdy Burns continues to keep that lead and a little bit of contact off 4.
Rose using a little bit of an aggression down into the corner, dives to the inside. Up top, Burns gets the advantage one more time. Rose pushing the Simpsons Auto Care machine through its paces down to the inside as they come off of 4.
To the inside, Charlie Rose going to work the inside line into 1 and 2, trying to battle for the lead as they work down the back stretch. There is 28 laps on the board. Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader.
Charlie's going to push you as hard as you can go. And Jacob has shown over the past couple of years that you can push this kid pretty hard. Down the backstretch, and Rose gets a little crossed up off of 4, gathers it back in. Burns gets away just a little bit on the outside.
Down across the stripe, 30 laps in the books, 15 laps to go here.
Trouble down at turn number 3. 2 cars get together. The 47 of Jared Freitas and the 0 of Nate Tracy. Both cars going around, and we are slowed up on lap number 29. Ready to pull down in the infield as Jacob Burns and Charlie Rose ready to have at it at the top of the field. 16 laps remain, 29 laps complete. Off the corner they come. Burns a little bit loose. Charlie gets away up on the outside, sets the pace down into turn number 1.
Charlie Rose down the backstretch. He's going to try to jump to the low side into 3 and 4. He has the lead. Jacob Rowdy Burns back to 2nd off of 3 and 4. Charlie Rose, your leader.
And look who's coming right behind Rose is Dave Darling. He's battling for the number 2 spot in the Seekonk Grand Prix number 52 as he works the outside of Burns.
Here he comes, a very familiar face here at the Action Track of the East. Dave Darling working his way to the outside of Jacob Rowdy Burns, looking for 2nd position.
Chasing down the Kevin Woodruff machine of Charlie Rose off of turn number 4. Rose loose off the corner. Burns close back in. 3-car dogfight at the top of the field as they roll down the backstretch.
Luke Lebrun sitting there in 4th, just watching this one here. Down into 3 and 4. Give the lead to Charlie Rose.
Not by much. He gets a little crossed up. Burns pushing his way back down to the inside. Darling right there has to back off. Here comes Lebrun back in the fight. Rose loose up on the outside. Burns gets by. Darling gets by. Darling goes after Burns across the stripe at lap 33.
As Jacob Rowdy Burns.
Caution is out. The 47 of Jared Freitas goes around in turn number 3. And what a race this is heating up to be. Charlie's car, he's pushing that hard, and you got to wonder if he's got any tires left on that number 91 because he was getting a little. And Jacob Burns putting on a show at the top of the field with Darling and Lebrun in row number 2. Bulldog looks the field over as they come off of turn number 4. Up on the throttle, nice even start with Burns up top. Looks for the advantage down into turn number 1. Rose pushing it hard down the back straightaway as they hit turn number 3.
Give the advantage into turn 3 and 4 to Jacob Rowdy Burns. He's got the lead. Charlie Rose is there. What does Charlie Rose have? Down into 2. Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader down the backstretch.
Rose settles into second as Darling looks for third. Here comes Connor Souza into the fight. Up into the top 5. Looks underneath Luke Lebrun. Darling back to the third spot. Dives underneath Charlie Rose. Battle for second down the back straightaway.
10 laps to go. Jacob Rowdy Burns, your leader. Charlie Rose there. Here comes Dave Darling to the inside. He's going to look for second position as they cross the stripe.
Down to the corner, top 3, Darling down low, almost 3 wide. Rose gets a little crossed up, but has the momentum, shuts the door on Darling. Off of 4, Burns up top. Rose loose down the front stretch. He is hanging on for dear life in that number 91. Thinks he's at Lebanon Valley as Darling takes a look down to the inside.
You got to think the tires are going away for Charlie Rose as he's trying to hold off Dave Darling. A battle for second place as they cross the stripe. Jacob Rowdy Burns continues to check out for the lead.
Darling gets loose as well as they fight for that number 2 spot, and Jacob Burns gets away. A 5-car length advantage with 7 laps to go. Make it 6 that time.
They are winding down here. 6 laps to go. Jacob Rowdy Burns checking out at the front of the field. Charlie Rose in second, Dave Darling third, Luke Lebrun in fourth, and Connor Souza rounds out the top 5.
5 more circuits around. Lebrun and Souza battling for that 4th spot down into turn number 1. Souza down low, Lebrun up top. Lebrun with a good run, but Darling's able to slide up, shut the door. Lebrun dives to the bottom, contact there. Darling slides through turn number 4, gathers it back in. Lebrun down to the inside.
What an absolute thriller as we wind down. 4 circuits left to go. It's all Jacob Rowdy Burns out front. Charlie Rose in second as off of 4. It'll be 3 more times around for Jacob Rowdy Burns leading in our Everett's Auto Parts late model race here. 45 laps the distance. 3 laps to go. Here they come, 2 to go.
Twin sticks in the air and the battle is continuing for that 3rd spot. Darling up on the outside. The 27 of Lebrun down low as they race side by side down into turn number 3. Souza and Murray right behind them as they cross the white flag. Final time down the back straightaway. Jacob Burns rolls off of turn number 2 and into 3. Smooth sailing for the MJF Plumbing and Heating machine, and Jacob Burns is going to pick up the win. Charlie Rose for second. Luke Lebrun just edging out Dave Darling for third. Darling fourth. And the 08 of Richie Murray just edging out Connor Souza at the stripe. How about that, ladies and gentlemen, for a late model main event? These guys fought hard side by side, but taking down the win. How about a round of applause for Jacob Rowdy Burns? How about a round of applause, Jacob Rowdy Burns? Boy, if anybody didn't need a caution race, it was you, because you had a great lead. But man, what a fight!
Oh yeah, it's always fun battling with Charlie. I knew on the restart he was going to get me on the outside, but we're going to come right back for him.
This car seemed to get better on the longer runs, a little struggle on the short runs.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit free after those cautions, but once we got that long run we needed, we pulled away and we got it.
2 weeks ago, last time you were here, engine failure. Tonight, this thing was a rocket.
Oh yeah, definitely. Huge thanks to Nat Chevatone for this. He gave us a motor really quick and it worked out, so thank you.
A lot of people behind you getting you back to victory lane.
Oh yeah, huge thanks to all my sponsors. Huge thanks to my uncle, Mike Vaness, my spotter, Mike Rotundo, and all the fans that came out tonight.
Congratulations. Welcome back to victory.